Singapore is pushing for more young people to be exposed to the ASEAN region. More than 30 youth leaders from Singapore and the region will engage in a 5-day dialogue next week. It's part of the National Youth Council's efforts to encourage young people to further the conversation on issues like sustainability. We're joined by two of them tonight. Seng is the founder of Green Nudge, while Cynthia Handriani Wijaya is head of business development and investor relations at Daya Selaras Group. Thank you both for joining us. Seng, your social enterprise organizes environmental events like coastal cleanups for businesses. Could you briefly give us an idea of why and how you set it up?
Yeah, sure. So since we started about 3 years ago, we did realize that that there were a lot of interest relating to trying to get sustainability engagements to be involved. We realized that many of these engagements were ad hoc, which were very limited in impact. We decided that if we could come together and support companies as well as communities in their engagement and journeys, there's a lot more impact that can be created in the long run.
Seng, at the same time, there are calls to grow green stronger worldwide, but are there plans to tap into opportunities in the wider ASEAN region? And if so, where are you looking?
Yeah, I think issues like sustainability and climate change is really quite broad in general, and it kind of crosses boundaries. So issues like green economy as well as change relating to waste and marine litter is something that we'd like to look at a little bit more. One area that we're going to be focusing a little bit more on would be providing of jobs to the youth in the area as well. So we have created a job portal called Green Collar to look at listing jobs relating to environment and sustainability related careers within the ASEAN region. And we have kind of at least started listing out jobs in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, as well as Indonesia. We definitely love to do a little bit more relating to other change when the pandemic eases, and love to kind of explore ways to look at areas like marine litter, as well as engagements with different corporates and communities.
Cynthia, your family's business in Indonesia is working with partners to build a circular value chain that turns waste paper into packaging. What changes did the pandemic bring to the industry, especially in terms of growth potential?
So Daya Selaras Group, or DSG in short, we operate this circular value chain where our renewable and circular raw material is waste paper. We have our paper recycling management company, and we have our industrial logistics. And finally, the oldest of them all is our integrated corrugated carton packaging manufacturer. What we have here of a circular value chain is basically a closed loop system for waste paper circularity. Now, the pandemic has definitely caused such a global scale of disruption to everything that we do. All industries, everyone is affected in one way or another. It makes us think about the ways that we've been doing things, the way we take, make, and waste, the whole linear way of lifestyle, whether or not this is something that we should continue, because at the end of the day, resources are finite. Specifically in our industry, in particular, there were definitely shortages in supply of waste paper, especially last year during the peak of pandemic times. Prices increased, fluctuated around 10 to 15%. And Indonesia actually is still quite heavily reliant on imported waste paper by around 40 to 50%, which can be quite shocking to some people, especially since Indonesia is such a large country and you would think that there's enough waste paper for domestic consumption. However, the issue has always been our low recycling or recovery rate and standards, which is why one of DSG's vision and mission is to build more awareness for people to understand that there is value in waste. There is value in your waste paper, especially because we need it for our raw material. So supply disruption is definitely something that a lot of businesses experience throughout this pandemic, right? In a way, it forces us, this crisis, to think about the sustainability and viability of our entire supply chain. There was definitely more reliance on local waste paper ever since the start of the pandemic, with shipping costs being so high and getting imported waste paper to come into Indonesia was such a huge feat. All of these things were in line with DSG's vision and mission of helping to boost waste paper circularity and consumption in Indonesia. Another potential opportunity that we tapped into because of the pandemic is the rise of e-commerce platforms. Just April to May of last year, at the peak of the pandemic, online shopping skyrocketed by like 60%, and food delivery services also rose exponentially. Now, the thing that comes along with it that we need to think about is the packaging waste. What can we do with them? Especially because we know that landfills are already running out of space in Indonesia. Hence, I personally believe that circular economy is the key solution to all of this. And hopefully through our circular value chain, we are able to become a part of that solution.
There are certainly many opportunities in the sustainability sphere. Seng, very quickly, how will you be tapping on this ASEAN Youth Fellowship dialogue to perhaps further explore opportunities for your business?
Well, it's definitely about trying to learn a little bit more about what the various participants are doing in their respective field of work. I would love to kind of learn a little bit more about their successes as well as the areas to improve upon, both in the public, private, as well as the public sectors. We'd love to really kind of better understand each of the participants as well, so that we could really work together in the long run. I think that's really one of the ways that we could tap upon the opportunities around these areas, including the areas on employment as well as digitalization as well. So really love to see how this program will come along.
We wish both of you the greatest of success in this. Thank you both for joining us this evening and chatting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Heng Seng, the founder of Green Nudge, and Cynthia, Handriani, Wijaya, Head of Business Development and Investor Relations at Daya Selaras Group.